In the morning, wake your goat mouth ass up.
I want to send a congratulations to TZ Vaughn, Savage, and Jay Lava for their 500th episode of Keep It P podcast. Be one to you players.
Keep it P, man. From the P Mountain itself, the Bishop John Magic Wand, chairman of the board of famous players everywhere. You did.
Thank you for being their fans coming from P. You know what I mean? So make sure you check out the Keep It P podcast. This is me telling you. P. That's P the Ghost LOXD block. And congratulations once again, TZ Vaughn, Savage, and Jay Lava. Love is love. Go Soldier Soul.
Jay Lava, television, network, the whole fucking 9 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Early in the morning, wake your goat mouth ass up.
My friends, get on in here, my friends. It is your turn, my friend. Oh, I forgot. That intro is not that long. So, if the intro's not that long, then sometimes it kind of overplays and then you don't see me for just quite a second. Don't be worried. I'm still here for you guys. This is the Keep It P podcast, where we take news, situations, everyday occurrences, and we show how one could have and could not have been keeping it P. Usually being joined by the one that's keeping it T, but seeing as though it's on the early morning tip, we just in here on the Dolo Solo. So with that being said, we're not trying to tell you what to think. We're trying to show you how to think when you encounter articles like this here. So let's get into it. Because he just sent me a whole bunch of news. So now it pretty much covers the last thing that I was looking at, which happens all the time. I'm almost kind of used to it. If y'all in the chin at, let me see. Shooting of unarmed black man. Oh, that's the Hawaii joint I wanted to do. Yeah. I was curious about this Hawaii thing, seeing as though, they're Pacific Islanders. So, there's... Stop saying I don't know. I do know. Are you speaking to me beyond the grave? Now I'm getting messages internally from my guy. It says, we don't have that in Hawaii. Shooting of unarmed black man by Honolulu officers rule justifies, prosecutor says race didn't play a role. Well, I'm curious to see how this one turns out, so please dig in with me as we pull back the layers of mayo, But it says Honolulu prosecuting attorney Steve Alm announced on Wednesday that the deadly force used in the officer-involved shooting in April was justified and that the 3 officers involved won't face any charges. Isn't that nice? It says Lidali Miani, a 29-year-old South African man. See, that alone right there just sounds like all about race to me, but okay. He was fatally shot by officers from the Honolulu Police Department on April 14th, just 3 months after he moved to the Pacific Island state with his wife and his 2 children. Except Miani, widow, was filed a wrong death suit against the city, and the police department alleges that the officers acted on racial discrimination, but according to Ohm, race didn't play a role in the shooting. I think that case is pretty easy to pin on somebody if they constantly, doing racist things. I mean, it's just like a no-brainer that you're doing racist stuff. I think you must be racist too. I mean, it says we didn't find any evidence that race played a part in the case, he said at the news conference. In some communities, you do have police who are of one race, generally that the people are policing are another race. We don't have that in Hawaii. Police officers live among us, he said. On Saturday, on the day the shooting happened, Miani entered a residence that was not his and sat down and removed his shoes. It calls for the occupants of the condominium to call 911. The police arrived, scuffle ensued between Miani and the officers, who did not immediately identify themselves. The ring footage cameras of the encounter released on June shows that Miani exited the residence soon as entering, apologizing multiple times to the residents. The woman told the 911 operators that he didn't appear to have any weapons or wasn't behaving aggressively. The male resident could even be hearing saying that Milani apologized for entering. Milani was outside of the home at the time police arrived. That's him, the woman said as they pulled up. The officer ran towards Milani, instructed him to get on the ground. Then he responded, "Who are you?" A scuffle ensued and a taser was deployed before somebody said, "Shoot him." And several shots rang out. After several more shots, one of the officers finally said, "Police." What? Come on now. B1 family, who was that? Tia? To you? What's up, Tia? Where you tapping in from, mommy? About 30 minutes before the shooting, 4 officers responded to the report of someone trying to enter the vehicle. Milani intervened in the investigation, asking officers for money and tried to get into the police vehicle. According to Alm next, Milani drove to where the shooting took place. Said Milani told the woman in the residence he entered, "I have videos of you. You know why I'm here, and we lived in this home that." I know the people who lived in this home. I heard him say that on the video myself. It also says explained that he said, "Tell him I'm from South Africa. I'm on the hunt. I'm on safari." He lowered his feathered headband and he said, "We're hunting and there's no time." Said Milani should have been able to see the officers were with the police because the streetlights made their uniforms visible. The visuals are unclear from the dash cam video release. Also noted that the officers tried to use non-lethal methods to handle the situation before deploying lethal forces. Yeah, but I don't get that. Just because you're an officer in Hawaii, somehow you're not up to racist stuff. I just don't get that. Even after verbal commands, a firing of a taser yelled about taser actually getting shot by Officer 1. Milani would not stop his attack on Officer 1, said Milani continued punching the officer after he'd been shot in the chest, said. We got a video. I don't know if I want to actually, show that here on the spot, because they be acting extra reload about it. especially if it has something to do with somebody being shot. But according to Milani's window, he mistook the window for a Hare Krishna temple next door. He believes that he was looking for a spiritual place at the time and noted that he was wearing a omikyo, a traditional Zulu headband. During the encounter, that he took his shoes off before entering the home residence, which is a sign of respect. But according to Alm, no evidence supports that idea. In fact, Mr. Alm was looking for the temple and would have taken him maybe a few seconds to get to know the house and realize, oh no, wrong place, turn around, leave. He said, nah. He said, B1 Bay Area, that's what's up, man. On call all the time for sure. And we need to rethink my. Hey, listen, JB, check this out though. So it's like the officer, well, the police chief is intentionally trying to demonize this dude. I kind of almost do believe like he was on some just paying homage shit and just trying to be on some cool shit, because I seen the video myself and he was highly apologetic. Like they didn't have to shoot him, but I think they're using this just to cape, just to be like, you know, it's not about race, but definitely it was about race, because they gave it away when they said that he was from Africa. But it says Luanda Winnow plans to move ahead with the lawsuit. 2 of the 3 officers involved in the shooting have returned to work. Also, one is recovering from his injuries. He didn't have no injuries. The injuries is the ones that the dude that was dead. You ain't got no injuries. What are you talking about, fam? That's so ridiculous that he would actually even do that. Yeah, man. It's, you know, this one actually is funny in particular because they just passed legislation. So I'm like, okay, are they gonna get? That's why they saying ain't no race involved, because then it would be like they would automatically have to give that hate crime, and they try not to do that. If so, that's the biggest splain in the world. Like, if I'm catching this correctly, like they try to be like ain't no race involved, so that because they're obviously a Pacific Islander. Well, hold on. He's African, so I guess it wouldn't even apply because it just said that he was African. But that's kind of weird. I'm surprised they ain't trying to spin it then like he needs a hate crime or something like that. It almost makes sense and would be damn near ass backwards on how they would try to do it. Malicious bidder. Yeah, you know, I'm thinking about the ramifications of what's happening here, and obviously, you know, the police chief is just explaining away everything, but it seems like dude's messed up, because if FBA don't ride for him or protest or march, who do he got? I bet you he ain't finna count on his African brothers and sisters over here to have his back, because they don't do shit like that. They don't stand up and fight for any justices and inequalities. So if we don't do it, and guess what, we ain't finna do it at all. We saying hold your own nuts, homeboy. You know, I don't know. Now, you know, we definitely call out the injustices because the person has the same uniform, but definitely not finna go head over heels over nothing. Anyway, this was the pre-drip. I had to hit y'all with something real quick just to get your taste buds ready for all the news that we got coming today on the network. Make sure you get in the description section. It's like Thanksgiving over there. You can definitely check out the merch, the shirts, the pants, and all of that. Officers are showing LAP Regulaton. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And you know, everybody knows that the LAPD's recruiting tactics is recruiting good old Southern boys and all of that kind of thing from outside of the state, so that they have no connection to the actual citizen in the community that they're patrolling. So that's why they're able to, you know, act as heinous as they do, which shouldn't be an excuse. It shouldn't matter what part of the country you're from, which makes you wild out on the police force. But I digress. Well, good seeing y'all. You know, we're gonna tap back in at 8:30. So y'all get ready. We'll see y'all in about 15 minutes. This is the pre-drip. And I'm Jay Lava, so y'all know what it is. Take these commercials and we will be Rizite busy.
Look, I don't play with this shit. You don't even know what I gave to this shit. Self-made with this shit. I slay with this shit. Been a lot of roads I done paved with this shit. Look. See, I don't play with this.
Hey, Riri. Hey, Rihanna. Hey, girl, how you doing? I'm into you like Trump's in the Putin. I know that might sound a little confusing. I had to say it for my own amusement. What I'm trying to say is, can we go cruising? Top down, blow some good gas, and listen to Blueprint. Birdies, taking flight, change your life in one night. By 2 a.m. if you do it right. Up late like nigga night. Small fish, big appetite. Get an extra 4 if you whip it right. Got good gas and it's light bright. Got big balls and a good pipe. One call it in sight night.
Shawty bang my line. You can holler at me later. Shawty bang my line. Shawty bang my line. Bang my line. You can holler at me later. Shawty bang my line. You can catch me on the book or DM me at IG. Consider me in the took you from the premises. I bring it back like it's stolen from my nemesis. I bring it back on the store. Around me, almost drown me. It astounds me like the level of deceit. When your people try to play you like somebody in the street. Like even when you praise him and you try to see him eat. Not to mention all the shit you did to get him on his feet. Kid of thoughts, 10,000 legs. I know you wish you could, but some can't. I learned from my mistakes and I done felt all the breaks. Learn to cut the grass real fast for the snakes. Learn to give a little bit more than I take. Too many times I score back, break, pump fake. I got the PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Chime. Hope you got yours, cause I got mine. I'm talking Payoneer, net spend, Venmo, stash. Too many ways for you to run my cash.